M-Files is an enterprise content management system that can be customized to suit your needs. M-Files can be installed on Windows computers and can also be accessed via the web and mobile devices for a zero-footprint cloud application, or a combination of both. The full application is integrated into the Windows Explorer functionality, so it gives users a familiar look and feel for navigation. What you see here is the M-Files home screen when you first log in. The main workspace offers quick access to a variety of frequently used items, such as documents or items you've recently accessed, items that are assigned to you for completion, and items that you have checked out to work on. The pinned section to the right can be used as a virtual bulletin board for saving links to your own personal collection of items or searches that are most important to you. Items can be pinned or unpinned as your work dictates. Shortcuts to these areas are available at the top as you navigate throughout the application, and your workspace is customizable to your preference, so you can show or hide panels as desired. The Browse section contains views, which are pre-configured saved searches that are dynamically updated based on the metadata, also known as properties or keywords of the documents. Some of these come included with the application, while others are customized based on your requirements. At its core, M-Files document management is based on what it is rather than where it resides in your system. This means you never have to remember where you saved something, as long as you know any of its assigned properties or keywords. Let's take a look at an example. Let's say you need to look at a vessel security certificate. There are a few ways to get to it. First, let's take a look in the Documents by Type folder. Here we have a listing of different document types, and security certificate is where we want to go. Next, we are presented with a list of vessels who have a security certificate on file, and we need the Betty Luce, so we'll go there. And here we have its certificate. Once we click on it, we'll see the metadata for this document in the right panel. These are the keywords and properties that allowed us to drill down into the saved search to find this document. Let's talk for a minute about the metadata, or the keyword properties on the documents. The kinds of keyword fields that are available on each document is fully customizable. Some system standard metadata fields, such as created date or last modified, will be applied across the board, while other metadata fields can be applied as necessary. Let's go back to the home screen. We've seen one way that we can get to Betty Lu's security certificate, but let's look at a different one. This time, we'll go into our Documents by Vessel section. Now this shows us all of our active vessels right off the bat. Here's the Betty Lu, so we'll go into its file. And here we are seeing all of the Betty Lu's documents together, whereas before we had narrowed our search first to only security certificate documents. This time we've started with the vessel filter, and so we're seeing all of the Betty Lu's available documents together. Here's the security certificate. It's the same document. It's not saved in two different places in the system. It's just two different ways to access it. Let's return to the home screen, and instead of going into any of these saved searches, let's just do a quick keyword search up here in the search bar. It's a lot like Google. You can just type in keywords, and M-Files will do the heavy lifting to find this document. And here we have the Betty Lu's security certificate. And you'll notice that M-Files has highlighted the keywords in the file name. And if we look over here in the metadata panel, the keywords are highlighted here as well. We can also click on the preview of the document to see a quick HTML version of the file, and you'll see the search terms are highlighted in the contents of the file as well. M-Files will do this for any kind of searchable file type, such as Word or Excel documents, as well as searchable PDFs. As you can see, there are a variety of ways to get to the documents that are important to you. How you access the documents will depend on your own preferences and work styles, and we can customize M-Files to work how you work best. Let's talk about ways to add documents to M-Files. Depending on what's most convenient for you, there are a variety of ways to get documents into the system. First of all, let's say you have a handful of documents already saved somewhere, maybe on your desktop or in a network folder. We'll just select the documents we'd like to add to M-Files and drag them right into the application. mFiles will then prompt you to fill in the metadata card for the document so that we can add the associated keywords that we can use to find this document in the future. The first property that we will assign is the class, which is generally known as the document type. This is a top-level categorization of the document that we are adding to mFiles. We can either scroll through the list of available classes, or we can just begin typing if we already know what the class should be, and the list will narrow down the options based on what we've entered. This is a crew list, so we'll select this class. And you'll notice that the metadata fields changed once I selected a class. This is because the properties assigned to each document class are customized based on that document type so that different document types can have different keyword properties. In this case, we just have a couple of properties to fill in. Clicking Create Now saves and checks the document into mFiles. Templates are another way to add documents to mFiles. Most of us are familiar with using common saved version of a Word or Excel document as a template to create documents that are used over and over again. But there's always the risk that someone will accidentally save over the template version of the file, and then it has to be recreated to strip out the customized information so it can be used as a template again. In mFiles, designating a document as a template means that you don't ever have to worry about saving over the template version. mFiles will prompt you to create a new document from the template automatically. Let's see this in action with the memo template. I've pinned it to my section here. When I open the template, instead of opening the template itself, mFiles knows that I want to create a new document based on the template, so I'm presented with the now familiar metadata card right off the bat. I'm going to go ahead and enter my information here. And you'll notice down here in the left corner, the default option is to open this document for editing. This makes sense since this is a brand new document we're crafting, and most likely we'll want to open it right away and finish working on it before moving on. Now when I click Create, this will generate the document in Microsoft Word. And here's my document. One item to note is that the document has been pre-populated with a couple of fields, the vessel name and the date. This is because the mFiles template has been configured to pull this information into the file from the metadata we just entered for this new document. This is part of the integration with Microsoft Office and is a powerful feature that can help standardize documents and reduce data entry. Workflows in mFiles can help you work smarter, not harder, by taking advantage of a wide variety of automated routing, notifications, and assignment features. Workflows can be as simple or as complex as they need to be to line up with your business processes and even streamline them for increased efficiency. Let's take a look at how we might manage a common process for managing work orders. Here's a view that shows us all open work orders. We can see from the visible data which vessel the work applies to, the status of each one, and some relevant details about what work is being performed. Here's a work order I've created to service a motor on the Betty Lou. When it's first created, it starts in the ordered state of the workflow, and you can see that also on the metadata card. Let's see what happens when we assign a responsible person to this work order. The work order is automatically updating and is now in the resourced state of the workflow. We can add in a few more details about when the work is started. And now the state has changed again to ongoing. Finally, let's add the completed work date and delivery day. You'll notice that the work order has dropped out of my view here, and that's because this view is showing me all open work orders. Navigating back to the home page and looking now in the All Work Orders view, shows me this work order has been completed. By configuring the workflow steps to create assignments or notify specific individuals of the work in progress, we can assure that no one is left in the dark as to what is happening or when.